Is it possible for us to be conscious that we're perhaps underutilizing one part of the brain and overutilizing the other, or vice versa?
Well, we become conscious by being able to see the bigger picture. So you can see there's a problem here, that if you're already locked into a very narrow picture, that of the left hemisphere, you probably won't know what it is you're missing. The left hemisphere critically does not know what it is it doesn't know, whereas the right hemisphere is aware that the left hemisphere does certain kinds of work on its behalf. It should act as a support, as a kind of minister, as a high functioning bureaucrat, basically, to do certain fairly limited procedural tasks, which it can do quickly. And the right hemisphere, in the story of the master and his emissary, the master realizes that he mustn't get involved with certain elements if he's to maintain a true overview of the world. And so the left hemisphere has been deputed to do these things. So one of the problems is that I think a lot of people are not aware of what has gone missing from our world. And a lot has gone missing. I think in my lifetime, I've seen it accelerate, so that I've seen things like beauty, goodness, and truth all travestied and reviled, and a sense of the sacred, a sense of wonder. All these things seem to have departed from our lives. And now something like 80% of young people feel that their lives are meaningless. If asked about it, there's no meaning to their lives. And I think this is because we've prioritized the left hemisphere, which doesn't really understand anything. See, one kind of helpful soundbite is the left hemisphere apprehends the world. In other words, lays a hand on it to grasp it and get it. It's the one that makes us rich or powerful. Whereas the right hemisphere comprehends, which means gathers together in order to have a fuller understanding. So really and truly, the left hemisphere is not as intelligent as the right. And that's actually a literal truth. The right hemisphere is more important for IQ, for example, than the left. It's certainly more important for emotional and social intelligence. We've always known that. But it's interesting that it's more important for cognitive intelligence. And it's more important for taking in the world, attending properly, perceiving things correctly, making deductions from what it sees correctly. Whereas the left hemisphere on its own becomes deluded. And I'm not using that word in a sort of popular way. I'm using that in the technical sense that as a psychiatrist I use it. The left hemisphere believes, left to itself, some completely crazy things. So it is not true that the left hemisphere is dependable, and it's not true that the left hemisphere is unemotional. It quickly gets angry.